Hi, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda, and welcome back. Today is my third iteration of Baby Got Scraps, and I'm very excited. I'm showing you here, these are my cardstock packs, and I have cardstock pieces, scraps all grouped together, kind of in color families. So I will feel free to pull from those, and then I started to roll, this is the Scattergory die, and so I had pulled out 3 different sets of photos that all do just have one photo or 2 photos for a single page layout. And then when I rolled the O, I had kind of a couple choices to go with my O paper packs. So this is the Olivia papers from Closetomyheart, and these are what was in my packs. And what I did, I don't store any cardstock in with my paper packs, so that's why I wanted to show you that if I want to add cardstock to it, I'm going to go to my cardstock envelopes. So here I don't really have an idea yet. I really like how this photo of my husband is working with these colors, and I pulled out, I believe it's Carolina is the blue cardstock, is my one 12 by 12 piece that we're allowed to have in Baby Got Scraps. And then I'm just kind of playing around and laying them out and seeing what I want to do. And as I was laying them on the blue, because that's what I was doing originally, was to see if the blue would work with it, I just got the idea to do banners down the page. So I'm going to cut these into sections that are anywhere from probably 1 inch up to 2 inches, 2.5 inches. This one probably is what looks like, yeah, just about a 3-inch piece there that I cut the one wedge off of. And then I only have this one piece of the dark green, which I love this paper, so I'm going to cut it in half so that I can have it in 2 different places on this layout. And then I'm realizing, oh, I should mat this photo. And I don't know if you guys ever do this, but I was like, oh, there's a perfect little scrap here. I'm going to put it on the corner and mat it and it'll be perfect. And then I realized that, there's edges of this photo that I could cut down, so I could always make it work with that particular scrap of paper, because I can cut the photo down, and I did just that to get me kind of the 1/8 of inch border. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just shake my head and laugh at myself. Like I said, this is my third Baby Got Scraps video. I hope to do more. I hope to actually get some more produced and knocked out. I'm really enjoying going into my stash and pulling out old papers and just seeing what works with the old photos that I have. I have not printed any photos other than a few occasional events since 2013. I have stopped editing them. I have them organized digitally by date, and that's as far as we've gotten at this point. So here I decided to go ahead and add some banner ends to these pieces, these strips that I have on the paper. And it's about this time that I'm realizing there's so many orange tones that they need to be more distinctive from one another. So I'm kind of lining them up. I'm going to try to intersperse the green and find the balance between the dark green and the light green and not have the orange on orange. But I really do like this photo because of Slinky Dog has that same orange hue to him. The background, what it is my husband is actually standing behind this Toy Story Slinky Dog like photo picture frame that was backstage in Hong Kong at Disneyland over there, Disney Hong Kong, and someone held it up and took his picture, and I thought it looked great. So this is back 10 years ago or so. But the colors in the Slinky Dog picture frame just worked really well. So I'm not going to make you watch me put brown ink on all of the edges of the banners, but as I was saying, as I was pulling them down, I was realizing I was going to have to ink the edges somehow because they were too tone on tone, and I think the brown edges really made them stand out. So I went to my stamps and I found this world and then the You Are Here, and I thought that I would kind of put the indicator of You Are Here over on the other side of the world where China would be, because that's where my husband was spending most of his time. And then my friend Kim Ferguson, who also has a YouTube channel, so if you're not familiar with Kim Ferguson, she does amazing layouts and does a lot of paper piecing, and she has some amazing ideas of how to take a product and use it in a way that you never would have thought of. But anyhow, she gave me the idea to see about photos or images about the ride that he was working on, which is Mystic Manor. So the photo of the building is the front facade of this Mystic Manor, and then this little piece that I'm cutting out was the anniversary pin. And we actually have this pin in our collection, but this is just a picture of the anniversary pin for the ride. And this photo also had kind of this title little sequence on it, so I'm just going to use that as my title for the page. I do end up adding some journaling lines later, and my husband will have to fill in the story. But I felt the background was just too plain. It needed something, it needed some zhuzhing up, and so I grabbed this stencil, and it's a graduated circle stencil that just kind of goes down the page. So I wanted it to go from the bigger circles down to the smaller circles, and I wanted it to be right at the edge. So I don't know if you can see that I put it just down to the left and side, so left side and down, and then I'll move this after I get all of the circles filled in here. And I don't make you watch me do all of it, or maybe I do, and I just fast forward it. I think I just fast forwarded it because I had somebody comment, I love watching these things, you have to let us watch you doing it all. So this is for you, Angie. So now I'm going to move the stencil over. I'm still going to keep it down the page, and I'm just lining up the circles with the ones that I've already colored in. And then I will again tape the background cardstock and the stencil together to the mat so that both of the top elements are secure. And then I did grab one of my, I don't know if you've seen where I take shop towels, the roll of blue shop towels, and I cut them down into these little pieces because they're great for cleaning up stencils or texture paste or ink or anything. I love having them around in that small size because I don't feel like I'm wasting too much. Even if I use 3 of them, I'm still well short of using a whole sheet from the roll. And here I'm just dry fitting again. I'm one of those people that I need to dry fit. I need to see what's going to work. I know other people are so good at just putting it down and going with it, and just they'll make it work however they put things down. I'm not that person. So I am dry fitting this, and I'm going to go ahead now and decide, yes, this is good. So by putting this dark green on top of the other 2 banners, it holds those together, and then I can slide that all in. And so I normally tack down my base page to my Versamat, and I didn't do it this time, and that's why it keeps sliding and I keep moving the pieces around. So I will try and remember to tack that down in the future so that we have one less issue to maneuver around, I'll say. And I'm really liking how these strips are coming together. I like the interest of the pattern paper. I didn't end up pulling any cardstock from my stash, which is unusual for me. Normally I like to intersperse some of the cardstock, but there was just enough of the Olivia papers that I felt that I could make do with what I had. The pile of Olivia papers that you see on my left Versamat, I end up making a series of, I think it's 11 cards total. So there's 10 lovely cards and 1 not so lovely card. And if you're interested in seeing that, I will put a link up here in the corner for you. And those, like I said, are cards, but I use sketches to make those cards, or at least to inspire those cards. And sometimes when you watch somebody else that uses a sketch to create something, it gives you ideas for, oh, I've always struggled with scrapbook sketches, and now that I see it on this smaller scale for cards, I can jump over to it for scrapbook. So if that helps you, great. I love doing scraps from sketches. So, and here I'm going to pop dot this pin on, and I'm trying to place my title for Mystic Manor of where it's going to go. And this layout is coming together fairly quickly. I'm really excited. Like I said, I didn't used to do 1-page layouts, and I don't know how else I would have scrapbooked this photo because it's just a one-off photo from him. I have very few photos from when he is, gone and working on different projects. So other than, I think there's a Thanksgiving meal. In fact, that was one of the other options that I had before I rolled my dice and got an O, was I had one photo of him having Thanksgiving in Hong Kong, and that's a whole story of itself. And maybe I will pull that out again when I roll the dice the next time to see what stash busting I'm going to be able to do. And here, if you saw, I found that I wanted to bring some of the orange down to this lower corner, kind of to balance all the orange that's in the top of this layout. Wanted to grab some green and bring it down, you know, bring one down, bring the other down. So I just added this little strip, and then I'll add the Mystic Manor Disneyland Hong Kong on here. And that's my title, like I said. I'm really excited how this layout's coming together. I then am trying to decide how I want to do the journaling. If I wait to do strips of journaling, I don't think it'll happen. If I have journaling lines on the page, in the past I've had success taking the marker or the journaling pen to my husband with the lines that are on the page saying, here you go, you need to, you know, write about this story. And he's like, well, I don't know what to say. And so we'll talk about, well, what happened, and, you know, what do you remember from this? I don't know, it was so many years ago, but we get there in the end, and he does his journaling, and we talk about how the kids will really appreciate that it's in his handwriting and not my handwriting telling his story. So again, I went into my embellishment, and these are durables from Close to My Heart from years and years and years ago. And it's funny, I loved them, I bought them, I used them very sparingly because, you know, I didn't want to use them all up, and money was tight at that time. And now I have so many embellishments and little things that I'm like, when I use one up, I'm all excited. Woohoo, that's one more thing gone. So, and I'm using the arrows of the durables. As you can see, I did the first set down, the next set to the left, the next set to the right. It's all kind of drawing you into that photo. And now I'm just finding these gems, and it's kind of a burnt orange gem. So it has an orange tint to it, but it's not a bright, true orange. So it kind of pulls in some of the browns. And I really like how those look. I'm not going to worry about if I have, you know, layer upon layer of embellishment, or if this is a wow layout. I really think that the photos can tell the story. I think that it paired well with the papers. I sometimes feel that we put too much pressure on ourselves to create layouts that are over the top and wow and just there to impress, I don't know, other people, versus just creating a layout that tells the story for our family. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. And then I added that painter's tape onto the journaling lines because I'm going to do masking, but instead of masking the paper, I'm actually masking the journaling lines. So when I ink it up, I know that I can peel that tape off and there won't be any ink past that point. And I'm using the door of my Misty because I can't find my long 6-inch block. I'm not sure. I know it's in my studio. I just couldn't find it this day. I spent 10 minutes looking for it and decided, use your Misty, let's just get this done. So you can see here the lines are now on the layout, and once there's journaling on it, it will look a lot nicer. I grabbed another old stamp set that had this date file tab on it, so I'm going to fussy cut that out here, and I don't think I make you watch me do all of that. So now I'm just going to glue that down along the top of the photo, and I added the general date of when that was. So now you can kind of see the layout and some of those up close pictures. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to join me. I do have a Facebook group, Crafting with Amanda VIPs, and here's another video you may be interested in, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.